Next item up here for this evening, Councillor Trenholm, community park benches.
Sure, I guess we're staying with the community on the theme anyway. When a resident first told me about this issue, and I got to admit I was oblivious to it because it did not affect me, I think. And so basically, it was brought to my attention that the usual practice of the city is to remove the community benches in the winter. And this lady said, well, her husband, this was during COVID, and then her husband, I guess, was struggling to make a loop around their house and then going for a walk in the community. And so they'd stop midway on a bench that was there. And then come the winter time, the city removes the benches. And so it leaves, in this case, an elderly couple who are, I guess, growing old and some health issues. And in terms of being able to be actively involved in the community by walking and just maintaining the health and quality of life, it was pretty disturbing as this person just explained it to me. And then I started to pay attention to where these benches are. I paid attention when they popped back. And actually, there was two elderly ladies sitting there. One was in a walker, and one wasn't. And I explained to them, "Well, this is who I am." And at that point, I do intend to run for Ward 5. And I said, "Can I take a picture of you?" And I took a picture. And it's a pretty. The pictures tell a lot of words. And I think when you can see an elderly couple sitting on a park bench, they're able to talk, they're able to rest, they're able to have that communication. But even more so is across the street, a person yells, "Hey, it's a great day for a walk, isn't it?" And then they get engaged in this 5-minute conversation, and the sense of community building and belonging is priceless, truly priceless. It made me really proud to say, yeah, that's my city, right? And then I said, what can we do? What can be done to keep those community benches every month, right? I know other communities do. So what can we do? So I'm putting it out there in terms of for council. Any ideas or suggestions? I know I have reached out to staff as well, but any ideas in terms of what could be done? I'm open to hear, and I would love to. For myself, I would love to see that, because I think if we're, and just as we just had the presentation on. I guess accessibility and inclusion, if you're looking at some of the infrastructure that should happen or could happen, that is one of them. If we want to create something that people can be engaged in and reach different people and all of the population as best you can, that would make sense. So I'll just leave the floor open if anybody has any ideas or comments, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Councillor. I was just wondering, I was just reading over your like the submissions that you made. I wonder if it would be valuable to just sort of share what the staff input on this is, just because if anybody's listening and they just sort of heard your pitch, I guess it seems like a no-brainer, put the benches out, and it's great, but I wonder if we could just share with residents that might be listening or watching sort of what the implications of doing so may be, because I see that they are included in your, not that I'm against it, I just would like to get all the information out there as much as we can, because I know that there is some service level sort of implications in doing so, and just be nice to help. It'd be nice to have people have that information as well.
Very much, yes. I definitely can, but I don't know if maybe the CAO, Gordon McFarland, might want to weigh in. I know there could be more information that he has, if you're comfortable.
Yeah, certainly. Councillor Trenholm did ask staff this question. We provided some kind of immediate feedback. Wasn't an in-depth study for sure, but certainly all the benefits of having benches in the community, as the councillors noted, are staff would certainly agree with all those. Current practice where we have benches along sidewalks, and I'm likely safe to say most of our benches we do take up and put away for the winter. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure of them all. I know there are certain areas, certainly along the boardwalk, there are benches through through Memorial Square. Not sure what we do with them, but there are areas in the city where we have benches along sidewalks that we do take up and put away for the winter. A couple different departments involved, you have community services and public works who do the snow clearing. We're currently not staffed or budgeted to keep benches along the sidewalks clean, and I hate to use the word safe, because safety is always relative, but if we were to leave benches out and have them there and inviting people to use them during the winter, we would have to make sure that that the snow was cleared. That would certainly be by hand, that salting around them was done as well. So it's simply not a service level that we currently are able to provide with the current budget. That's not to say that it's an impossible task, but currently we remove them. It certainly makes snow clearing of the sidewalks more efficient, and then they go back in the spring as soon as we're done of the snow season.
Yeah, I'm curious if we know what other municipalities tend to do, and they probably differ from municipality to municipality, but, say Charlottetown, do they have, like, park benches are, and I'm gonna say park benches, but benches are used for a number of reasons, for people walking, like Ken says, as a place to break and sit and relax and when needed, so, is it common practice that municipalities remove the park bench, because it's sort of, that's half the year that the park benches are gone. I assume they're starting to be gone now and probably won't be back out till April, May. Is it like, yeah, I'm just sort of curious what other municipalities.
We didn't do that level of research for sure. And again, I certainly stand to be corrected. I don't believe we remove all the benches we have in the community. We certainly remove some of the benches that are along different sidewalk routes.
And is it mainly snow clearing is the thought, I would assume.
Snow clearing is, yeah, certainly a major reason for sure.
I wonder, just in having this chat, if there would be any value in maybe removing the ones that absolutely impede the snow removal, that are ones that are sort of smack dab in the middle of some of these sidewalks, and leave some of the others, even if it means us not being able to, like the winters now, for a lot of the time, there's no real snow coverage. Like, would it be okay? Would we be liable if we left some of those benches out that don't really interfere with the big sidewalk plows, and just sort of have them available for when there's no snow? Or are we sort of bound to, if they're there, we have to make sure that they're accessible and safe, sort of thing? Like, would there be, even in your opinion, Councillor, if we had some of those benches remain out, even if they're covered in snow sometimes, but like I said, the winters now, there's more often than not, they're gonna be clear anyway. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Sure, yeah, I think that's a great comment, Councillor. Even looking at if the staff or we'd be comfortable to pilot some different programs. I know there's particular individuals who have reached out to me and said, this is the bench we always use. These are the benches we always use. Because it would be nice to provide that year-round opportunity. And I totally agree. If you look up the snowfall that's on the ground down with Hayes, it's very minimal. Very minimal, but I mean, I know in terms of liability, it just takes that once, right? But there's not a lot of snow down anymore. But yeah, if there was an opportunity to even identifying which I guess have an inventory of which benches get removed, A, and then B, which ones really impede, and maybe C, even because it's adding concrete slabs, right? So it's the 2x2 concrete slabs that if it impedes, but if it's on a necessary route, I guess, if I'm looking at any benches that are around senior buildings, to me that would seem a logical opportunity there to keep them there. because certainly that population would require have more mobility challenges. Places that are close to, let's say, community connections as well, right? Any individuals who have any mobility issues, right? So those types of facilities. But if there was perhaps an opportunity to do an inventory of the locations, that would be a starting point, I would think.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's fair to ask staff to look and see if there is some of those benches around facilities like that we could leave, and if we can't, at least have a look at them, and I think it's a fair request. I know they leave them on the boardwalk, and you know, we seem to be able to plow around them, so should be good. Thanks.
Yeah, I think we can absolutely do that, and maybe work offline if there are specific benches that we know that someone has requested, then we can take a look at that for sure.
All right, I know I very much appreciate that, but so do a lot of residents too. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor.